Carrying capacity is not a fixed number. Estimates put Earth's carrying capacity at anywhere between 2 billion and 40 billion people. It varies with a wide range of factors, most of them fitting under the umbrella of lifestyle. If humans are still in the hunter-gatherer mode, Earth would have reached its carrying capacity about 100 million people. With humans producing food and living in high-rise buildings, that number increases significantly. As of 2008, there were about 6.7 billion people living on this planet. A good way to understand the flexibility of Earth's carrying capacity is to look at a difference between the projected capacity of 2 billion and 40 billion. Essentially, we're working with the same levels of resources with both of these numbers because people in different parts of the world are consuming different amounts of those resources. If everyone on Earth lived like middle-class Americans, consuming roughly 3.3 times the subsistence level of food and about 250 times the subsistence level of clean water, the Earth could only support about 2 billion people. On the other hand, if everyone on the planet consumed only what he or she needed, 40 billion would be a feasible number. As it is, the people living in developed countries are consuming so much that the other approximate 75% of the population is left with barely what they need to get by.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, scientists think that Earth has a maximum capacity of 9 million people, or 9 billion, sorry. And they predict that 10 billion would be the absolute maximum. And that's taking into account everyone becoming vegetarian.
So that's a suggestion.
Yeah, we've got a 10 bill max, but that's saying that the growth rate is going to stay the same as it is, which it's not. It's on the decline.
Okay, here's another way of rephrasing
You basically just made all your
questions.
points.
Yeah.
20 seconds.
Yeah. Chad,
We're doing multiple questions.
Chad,
I know.
I'm gonna go off this question though. Like, if we happen to have more.
Well,
than
I'd love to
10
hear the counter argument.
Okay.
Can I go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Chad, you bring up good points. You bring up good points. You bring up good points, Chad. But for everyone to become vegetarian, that would mean drastic changes in our.
Well, that's more of a hypothetical, like max 10 billion. The question prompted 9 billion.
Well, exactly. Are we sustainable at 9 billion by year 2050? And I say no, for the reasons like we won't be able to shift being vegetarian to help our planet. And I know that said 10 billion, but
Okay. Let's just say that there's more than 10 billion people that's projected to be.
Okay. Well, then we're just gonna have to
Alright.
implement family planning, use of
contraceptives.
exactly.
All right. So next question. So what type of human impact are we having?
Tim, honestly,
This is sort of the same question.
I mean, it is. But
It is.
I
But
know.
it's-
Say it.
what are we doing now that's affecting the way we like
Our
the rising
capacity levels.
carrying capacity?
What are we doing now?
Yeah, what are we doing?
Like, what are
now?
the bad things we're
Yeah,
doing?
what are the bad things? What are the good things?
Tim, we simply don't live a sustainable way of life.
Why is that?
Basically, our emissions, our wasteful ways aren't helping our Earth, and for us to be sustainable, we'd have to have sustainable energy. I think that is the current hot topic that we face today. And
You know what? I think we're getting better.
well, we're getting better, but maybe too little.
Chad, let's hear it. Let's hear it. Why do you think they're getting better?
Too little.
Well,
Too
I
little too
think
late.
renewable energy is becoming very popular, and that's definitely a start.
It's becoming popular, but it's not working right now
Why do you say that?
because we're still relying on fuels and.
Well, that's
Just
now.
intense.
Maybe in the future. Well, first of all, we can combat disease and poverty. We can improve energy efficiency and pollution control. We can keep human population to numbers that are sustainable. We can do this through family planning services, empowering women in developing countries with equal rights, so they have decisions in reproduction.
Easier said than done, but yes.
Education is another big thing in developing countries. Reforming tax laws, which will encourage couples to have no more than 2 children. And yeah, that's about it.
I think they're the obvious solutions that are going to be easier said than done because giving women, children,
But when we're in
and
a
people
crisis,
all over in developing countries,
overpopulation.
we already are in that crisis track.
Alright.
More cars on the road.
Okay. More hybrids on the road.
Yes.
True, but also more cars on the road in general. There are more cars that eat up fuel than there are hybrids. That number, that ratio.
So you don't think that's enough? What Chad is like saying.
It's enough, but it's just not gonna happen.
Okay, it's not enough.
Not in my lifetime.
What do you
God
think?
damn it.
What possible solutions that you think are like enough?
I think our
Is that-
first. Yeah, I think our first task, Tim, is renewable energy, or at least sustainable energy. Sources we've been looking at for centuries, really. Solar, wind. Also managing our resources a little more appropriately. Kind of being in tune with everyone that is on this planet. I think people generally make decisions with a small percentage of the population, but I think to adequately represent the people's needs, we just need to get more people involved. I think more people have been educated on these subjects, but I think that should continue to ensure conservation of the environment.
Yes, I do. In fact, NASA has launched satellites into space that revolve around the sun, and they've been doing this for the past 4 years in search for Earth-like planets that humans could move to. And there's a good chance we'll find some, but it might be pretty difficult getting there. And as for the moon, it's another possibility. And this is because of the large deposits of thorium, which is a nuclear fuel that could fuel spaceships and nuclear reactors and moon stations, all on the moon.
You said earlier that thorium could also be found on Earth, though. Is that
Yes,
true?
I said that.
So have we tapped into this resource? And
We have
used
not.
it?
We have not. But it is valuable though.
Why haven't we used it yet?
I'm not sure.
All right, Jack.
And that
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not sure.
honesty, we appreciate that here. Chad, I'm gonna have to say no to that because I think that before our Earth starts experiencing real global disasters with just overpopulation, that we will no.
No.
I'm
No.
wrong.
The verdict is no.
Chad is right, actually. There's a good possibility that we might go outer space. Yes, I think we could see underground or underwater.
Alright, we're gonna stop there.
Chad and his future talk.
First try run right there.
Well, also, the 10 billion max is cut.
Yes, sir.
One would be vegetarian.
Oh my god. So let's keep it at that. I like your response, Jack.
1-0, Jack on top.
Oh, okay.
Round one does not go to Jack, but okay.
Doesn't go to Chad either.
Okay, why not?
By nature, I'm not supposed to agree with the kid.
Okay.
Second off,
He just-
Chad,
Okay.
you make a lot of points that are hypothetical, and we wish those could come true. But for example, your points saying giving women full rights and equality and empowering those decisions to what? Oh god, I'm not making any sense. But crisis, Chad, and we have made steps
But
to
do you
improve
feel
it.
the
So-
effects?
so you
Do
don't feel
the
like
effects of
he
it?
didn't-
I do
No,
feel
he
the
doesn't-
effects.
You do.
Air quality in Marin has worsened
It's
a
amazing.
little bit. No, seriously, if you really look at it, you can just take a deep breath. Compare that breath to 10 years ago when you took that same kind of breath. You'll see it's not the same. Wind, T-Boone Pickens. NASA's been working tired. It's interesting that Literally, my speech is not on today. It should be on though. It's one of those things that you should be able to talk, but I can't. Sun goes down, Chad will be here to tell you everything you need to know about the world's
reforming tax laws.
current climate. Chad, how are the waves looking out there?
No more than
The waves are looking good, Jack.
Uh,
But, you know, as a surfer and news reporter, it's hard to kind of, you know, do both.
Chad, honestly, can you just
Okay, fine. I'm